All right, thank you for tuning into this episode of Walden Art. Today we're going to be looking at DC Legends Jim Lee Artifact Edition. So for those of you who land on my channel, my name is Walden Wong. I'm a comic book artist from Marvel and DC. Check out my website, is waldenwongart.com, and also check out my Patreon. It's patreon.com/waldenwongart. So if you enjoy these videos and you'd like to show some support, feel free to check out my Patreon. So without further ado, let's check out this Jim Lee DC Legends Artist Edition. Alright, so this is the box that it came in for Jim Lee DC Legends Artifact Edition. Here's the barcode. This is sold out. I think they released another version. They called it the Artist Edition, but it's the same thing. This is just the first edition. They called it the Artifact, whereas the new version, I think they just called it the Artist Edition. Okay, so here's the inside. I'm going to open this up. I haven't opened it, so we're going to take a look at this together. So let me get my cutter to get this open. I'm going to cut this open right over here and remove the plastic wrap. Okay, and we're going to take a look at the front cover. Front cover, right, like this. DC Legends. Just looks like it's hand drawn. Okay, and then we have the bottom part. We have the spine. Jim Lee. DC Legends Artifact Edition. IDW DC. We have the back cover. Spot gloss on Batman. Jim Lee right there. And then we're going to take a look at the inside front cover. Batman's head. What is there, a bump over here? That's interesting. It's almost like textured. Okay. Anyway, inside front cover, there's Batman. Let's take a look at the inside back cover. We have the Joker. Of course it's going to be Joker. Okay. And then now I'm going to open it from the middle, see how it lays flat. And we're going to look at how it opens the spine, see if it cracks. So this one stays flat. This is nice. If you look at some of my other videos, you notice that this one concaves upward. So this one holds its place. Interesting. This is Man of Steel issue 119, where I did the interior inking on. That's a funny coincidence. Anyway, let's take a look at the front. If I'm going too fast in this video, feel free to pause it and then and play or slow down the speed. Jim Lee DC Legends Artifact Edition. Okay, here's this. Harley Quinn. Here is the table of contents. The contents: Wildstorm, Batman, Superman, DC Universe. So there's no story. It looks like there's just like a lot of different pages. Okay, and then we're gonna take a look at it now. Wildstorm pages. Oh, this is such a treat to look at this. I'm such a huge Jim Lee fan. How much am I a Jim Lee fan? I'm going to show you guys a little bit later. Actually, I'm going to show you right now how much I'm a Jim Lee fan. So, I've always liked Jim Lee's work, and I recently got this skateboard deck, and I'm going to show you what this skateboard deck is of. So here, just very quickly, because I'm just excited about this. This is like a gold foil of X-Men, the X-Men cover. Anyway, let's go back to the Artist Edition books. Got sidetracked. Okay, so this is Art of Homage #1. We have this one here. We got Wildcats. Got Wildcats issue 2. Actually, this is both issue 2. What's going on? Right, issue 2. Oh, this is interior pages. This is probably the cover. Issue 2, page 3. Drawn on Marvel comic Brazil board. We have some more. So this is the actual 11 by 17 size that Jim Lee draws on. So we can now see this in full color. Does it give credit to who the inker was? I know Scott Williams inked the majority of Jim's pages. Let's see if it gave credit to Scott Williams. I don't see Scott Williams' name on it. Maybe Jim worked on it himself. Let's see if there's any mention here. No, I don't see any mention at quick glance. So here's, wow, look at Scott Williams' name. And then this is Cuber Art Store Bristol board. That's the only kind of Bristol board that I haven't worked on. Absolute Wildcats cover. Okay, so there's an Absolute edition, and this is the cover that was used for it. Here is Deathblow, where Jim Lee was trying to draw like Frank Miller's Sin City with all the blacks and stuff. Right over here. Okay, then we have Gen 13. J. Scott Campbell created these characters, Fairchild and all these other characters. Jim Lee drew this. Scott Williams inked it. Here's another Jim Lee, Gen 13 European tour cover. I've never seen this before. My first time seeing this. I like it when Scott Williams inked Jim Lee. When Jim Lee inks himself, there's a little bit more of a thicker line quality, where Scott Williams is more slick. Both of them looks good. It's Jim Lee inking himself. Divine Right, Lee and Williams. Okay, and here's Divine Right. Some interior pages. John Sabal inked this. My buddy John Sabal. Okay. Scott Williams. I remember meeting Scott Williams for the very first time at San Diego Comic-Con, and I walked up to him and said, hi, my name is Walden Wong. And he goes, hey, I know you. Aren't you the guy who inked Arthur Adams on the Hulk? I said, yeah, that's me. Oh, you did a really good job. So that was nice to hear, that he recognized my name. I don't know if he recognized my work, because inking, how do you really recognize an inker's work? But you kind of recognize the inker's name because sometimes it's attached to the penciler that you work with. Being an inker myself, a lot of times when I see pencils work, I do look at who inked it. There's always different mashups, different pencilers teaming up with different inkers, and then I do look at that. In the beginning of my so this is Jim Lee doing the Frank Miller style stuff, which looks good. I think it looks great. I think it looks good. Here's some of the Batman Hush. I've seen this in this Batman Hush video I made, where they had like this special San Diego Comic-Con artist edition book. Check out my other videos to see if you can see that. It's like a pen and ink video. This was also in there. I think this was also in there. There's this. And then we have Poison Ivy, Catwoman, Batman. This is Batman Hush pages. Very clean. Oh, the line work looks very nice. Jim Lee, he's the publisher for DC Comics. So he started working on Punisher for Marvel, and then moved on to work on his own X-Men title, where we saw that the skateboard that I had earlier, and it was like the #1 selling comic. And then later on, he left X-Men to move over and do Image Comics. Image Comics, where he created Wildstorm, Wildstorm with Wildcats, his character, with Brandon Choi, the writer. And that did really well. And then he created more titles like Gen 13 and Divine Right, hired major artists like Travis Tress, and Wildstorm did really well at the time. And then later on, he sold Wildstorm to DC Comics, and one of the things was selling Wildstorm to DC Comics was if he can be the publisher of DC Comics. So he went on to be the publisher of DC Comics. I don't know if any of the Wildstorm titles, such as Deathblow, Wildcats, Gen 13, are being used in the DC universe. It'd be great every so often. Actually, you know what? I do see DC Comics reprinting some hardcovers and trade paperbacks of Wildstorm characters. So that's nice to see, like absolute editions and such. So it's Jim Lee's work. Very nice. I met Jim Lee a long time ago when he did a signing at San Francisco, a comic experience, and then I showed him some of my inking samples, and my inking samples really wasn't really that good. Okay, here's the spread of this one. Okay, I did show him my work, and then it wasn't really that good. This was before I was even working in comics, but he was very nice. And later on, fast forward like maybe 10 years, I was at a guest at WonderCon, when WonderCon used to be in Oakland, California. And they were escorting me and another artist, and then Jim Lee was also being escorted. So the three of us were being escorted around to go from a panel to a booth. And then I didn't really talk to him, and he didn't really talk to me or anything. We were just being escorted by like convention people to show us where to go. So that was kind of funny. That's like something that you remember. Oh, I'm being escorted around by convention workers to show us where to go, and I'm just sitting next to Jim Lee and his wife, or his girlfriend at the time. Here's more Jim Lee pages. Here's this Superman. Very nice. Okay, we have Frank Miller. No, not Frank Miller. This is the Dark Knight 3, maybe Dark Knight cover. So Jim Lee has gone. He still does a lot of covers for DC Comics. He does a lot of sketch. He's a really prolific artist. He's been doing comics for a very long time, and his art is still in demand these days. Plus, since he's a publisher, so this is the cover that he did, where I did the interiors of, I think Doug Mankey penciled and I inked the interiors, and this is the cover for the comic book that we worked on. That's kind of, there's that little bit of a connection. Yeah, so Jim Lee is still like an in-demand artist, but then it also helps a bit that he's a publisher of DC Comics, so he can just say, I'm going to do a cover for this book, or I'll do a cover for that book. But as collectors and readers, they still like seeing his work. Like, I like looking at his work, his line work. I think it looks great. I love his work. I've inked Jim Lee once on a charity auction piece where it was a Superman piece, Superman carrying a tank, and that was donated to the Inkwell Awards. And when I got the piece, the pencils, it was blue line pencils. It was signed by Jim Lee, so I had that Jim Lee autograph Bristol board in front of me, and I was inking on top of it. Once I was done inking it, I was sign my name right next to Jim Lee's name, and that was the one. I mean, if you Google it up, like I think it's Inkwell Awards charity auction Superman piece. It's the only piece that you'll see other artists doing. I'm the only one that did some watercolors on the Superman emblem. So if you find that piece that has online where the Superman emblem is painted, where everything is in black and white, that's the piece I inked. So Inkwell Awards, what they do is they'll send out like one image that a penciler did and have multiple inkers do the inking on it, so you can see the difference between one inker over another. And the piece I did inking over Jim Lee on Superman was the one where I watercolored the Superman emblem. Okay. Here's this. Aside from that, I never actually got to ink Jim Lee professionally. It's just that one image. I've done samples where I inked over his pieces to get work, and I've done that charity auction piece. But I love looking at Jim's work, and I think the best person to ink Jim Lee is Scott Williams. Sandra Hope is also a great inker. He's also inked Jim Lee as well. I think Sandra Hope is an amazing inker and artist herself as well. Here's this. Here's this. Well, this is a nice piece. You Google up Superman kissing Wonder Woman. This is the image that you're going to find. Okay, Aquaman. Absolutely, like, really detailed thing to pencil and ink. Scott Williams went in there and made everything all nice and orderly. Here's more of this. Batman. Here's Wonder Woman. Batman Who Laughs. metal cover. So a lot of covers. A lot of covers that Jim Lee did. They all look amazing. They all look great. So if you're here, please subscribe to my channel. Like, share, comment down below, and I'll try to respond to everyone's comment. Look at all those bullets right around here. Then we have some other characters. I've never seen these before. Maybe for talent showcase cover, okay? And then we have the back of the bio. I'm going to hold this closer, so those of you who want to read it, you can pause and play. So here, pause and play, and then I'm going to move this higher. Pause and play, and then where you see Jim Lee over there. And then the bottom, pause and play. So here, once again, the back cover. And then we have the spine over here. And then we have the front cover, DC Legends, Jim Lee, IDW, Artifact Edition. And Batman coming at you. There you have it. That is the Jim Lee DC Artifact Edition right over here. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Check out my website. It's waldenwallart.com, and also check out my Patreon. It's patreon.com/waldenwallart. Please comment down below anything you'd like to see for future artist editions. Let me know. Comment down below, so if they have it, maybe I'll order one and then do a review for you as well. So take care and have a good day. Bye bye.